Alright, YouTube, so we're going to conclude this Spades playthrough, and you'll get to see the proper ending as to how it's supposed to go. So, last time, it was looking like Beyonce and Hillary were doing well, but, well, it's not so much I'm an unskilled Spades player, I'm just not used to some of the strategies that kind of went along with some of this thing. So, obviously, if someone notices that you're a tricks player and then they become like a low tricks player, I mean, you have to have like a counter strategy to be able to, handle that said thing. But that's just kind of the way it goes. So I might do a sequel to this. I don't really know. I mean, I've almost thought about it, but I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like it's almost difficult to see, which kind of contributes. I've had to do some editing with some of this so you can see how many tricks are being won here so you're not completely confused. I'll tell you, this is probably like a decent nightmare for people who are just watching this with like their cell phone, but obviously this is intended for watching like on a PlayStation or a television or a desktop computer, even something of that sort. So not really something you want to hop on the plane and watch, or watch in a car trip or something like that, unless you have like a laptop. But so I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the thing. I feel like YouTube needs to come up with some sort of feature to let people know what some of this is intended for, because sometimes there are hard to hear videos and such, and kind of makes it difficult for YouTube related stuff when you just want to isolate. But as it were, most of the time I intend for my videos to kind of be something that you watch on the couch on like an Xbox or a PlayStation, maybe even a Nintendo machine or something, but solid enough. So as it were, just learn the tricks of the trade. You can learn from Hillary and Beyonce, or you can learn from Trump and myself. Just pay attention to what we do. I typically have seen myself as a decent betting man. I mean, I didn't lose every single time because of Trump, but then there were a few times that I just missed by one, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the thing. Precision is the name of the game in Spades. You can't say, well, I got 7 out of 8 tricks. You have to get all 8, or it doesn't even matter, because if you get 7 out of 8, you're losing 70 points or 80 points. So you have to make damn sure, and you got to make sure your partner is on the same wavelength as you. So that's kind of the thing there. Sometimes when you play Spades, you find yourself having to win some of your partner's hands. That's kind of like a secret trick, is if he says he can get 5 and you only have like 3 hands left and you have as many as you do, you might as well help get some of their hands to make sure you don't lose out on the points, especially if you're playing for money. So sometimes I've had to come to Trump's rescue, but I don't know. You just have to. That's just the thing. I mean, it was kind of like a double whammy this time around, just because not only did I have to pick up the pace with the hands that we had to get, but also Hillary and Beyonce would also get low tricks, so that would mean that they would prefer to get bags more so than lose all their points. So that was their strategy as far as how to handle that. So what we almost could have done is, I mean, obviously if you get more tricks than them, than the other team, you can make them lose out on all their points if they don't get their points. But with them only getting 6, I mean, we'd have to get large tricks anyways just to make sure that they didn't get their 6. So seeing as how Beyonce and Hillary have combined tried to get 6 tricks right now, that would mean that we'd have to get at least 7. But if we have bad hands, it's kind of stupid to begin with. That's what you're seeing. You see what I'm talking about? That's their strategy as to how to win the game. And unfortunately, it came in handy. So, but it's kind of that's the way that works. I like teamwork. I mean, obviously you should. It almost makes me wish that there was like 3-player version of this. I don't know how that would work with 52 cards, but definitely it'd be slick enough to be able to do. So, you can kind of see some Applebee's over to the side. I don't even know if we still have Applebee's. It's been a while since I've been out and about. I've been a night owl lately. I've been a real creeper. Really been a ghoul in the night. So this is kind of the situation, is me trying to talk about that. But I've been sleeping all day like a vampire, just like people in the Twilight series. So this kind of happens to be the thing. But for me to think of like certain restaurants, and that's the thing. I mean, on top of that, because of COVID, the whole damn thing is these stores have been opening up later. So they're opening up like at noon and closing at 6, and it's like that's very inconvenient hours for most people, because you have to go to the stores during traffic hours when everyone else is going. I like 24-hour stores. I mean, that's kind of the situation there. I don't like having to. I mean, how many people would contract coronavirus if they could go to the store at like 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning? It's terribly inconvenient to group everyone else and have to get groceries at noon when you wake up at 10 o'clock at night. It's kind of, that's what I would do, is I just would walk to the grocery store, get my shit at like 3 in the morning. It's like everyone else is asleep, I'm getting food. This really happens to be the thing, but it's like the first time in like 80 years that Walmart hasn't been open for 24 hours. So I can't wait for it to get back on that old schedule, because I used to love walking into Walmart in the AM hours. Cobalt and I did it. I used to get Monsters and Red Bulls and Mountain Dew back in those days, but it's kind of like hell. Yeah, I really don't know how often this website updates, because I'm seeing Game of Thrones over there. I mean, I didn't look at that earlier, but when they say winter is coming, that's such an old thing. You see Arya there. So it's kind of funny. That's Maisie Williams. That's the actress who plays her, if you didn't know. But so yeah, there's just only like how many other things left to do and shit. I'm just kind of trying to think of what else I meant. So, yep, I still, as you saw in an earlier video, if you watched it, I still have not been able to get the Dazzles to work, and I don't feel like spending 200 some odd bucks on a Elgato or something, so I don't know what I'm going to do. These devices just feel like being faulty, and it's kind of starting to piss me off. So this was a trick that I pulled out of my ass earlier, but I don't know what else to kind of come up with. It's really getting kind of frantic as far as that's concerned. I'm having to go back and just mess with the NES Classic. So I don't know what else to do. But for what it is, enjoy this series, because that's about it. There's one more hand after this, and this is it. This is the last hand. So Hillary wins. Beyonce wins. They managed to trump us. You can see our score. I should have put that up, but subscribe for more fun. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night.